Good morning, friends. How are you? It is another beautiful day. That is 2 in a row at least. It's good to see y'all this beautiful Tuesday. Coco and I are on our way to Caravan. So that means we're going to go see the new properties that the other realtors have listed today. Obviously, since I'm bringing Coco, we're just going to go to one of our listings. We're going to go see my friend Tammy and my daughter Savannah on their co-listing over on Pike, a beautiful new little property. But I must have my Diet Coke. I haven't cut all my habits yet. I've got to start slowly, guys. But today we're going to talk about, yes, a large Diet Coke, please.
Large Diet Coke, anything else?
That's it.
Alright, one with it, the first one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about things I've learned about getting through things whenever you're down, you're having a bad time of life. Because let's face it, no matter how blessed and lucky and fortunate all of us are, nobody has a smooth ride, right? There's going to be ups and downs to everything. So, there you go. So how do you get through those? Well, I'm going to tell you a couple of examples I have. My mom, of course, as you know, is my great role model and is tough as a boot, as we would say. And she, like everybody else, has gone through good times and bad times. You start to think about someone who's 89 years old, the good times and bad times she's been through. It's pretty amazing. This woman lived in a time when, thank you, almost no one had a car. I mean, that was, very unheard of. She was born in 1929. So let's just think for a minute, those of you who have parents or grandparents in their 80s or 90s, the amount of change these folks have seen. Thank you so much. I know. Thank you. The amount of change these folks have seen, it's pretty astounding. My mom, this is one great story to tell you how tough she is and the time she's been through, okay? There was, back then, most people didn't really have running water in the house, but she wanted at least to have a well. They needed a well, and I'm not sure the technicalities of how they got the water into the house or whatever. Let me make sure this actually died. Yeah, we're in business now. So she wanted a well. She goes out in the backyard, and I guess my dad, who worked every day, every hour that there was sunlight, he was at work, manual labor, and so along with his family and friends. So one day, she asked him at work. I don't know how she asked him. I can't imagine they had a phone, but maybe they did. Somehow she asked him and said, "How deep do you have to dig to hit water?" He said, "Well, what do you need to know? What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, I dug down about as far as deep as the shovel, and I can just barely get out of the hole." So needless to say, she had dug for a little 5'3" woman a hole about as tall as she was and could barely get out of it. Well, the great news was, of course, by getting it started, Dad and his friends and relatives got the well dug, and she got her water. Because these were back in the days when she said, you know what, she goes, it wasn't funny. We had cloth diapers. There was nothing funny about that. She said, and Jimmy, my older brother, he was having trouble potty training. So she said he was 2 years old. And back then, they weren't nearly as politically correct as we are these days. And she said he was plenty old enough and he knew better. So after that, she goes, I got a big old bucket of well water. And every time he dirtied his drawers, I went and threw a bucket of well water on him. She said, I think that happened like 2 more times. And he was potty trained 100%. So that was the end of that with him. So she definitely has been through some crazy times. She married my dad, who of course didn't have any money, had even less than she did. And I said, Mom, tell the story again about how y'all moved on a bike. She goes, yeah, when I got married, we moved on a bicycle. And I said, yeah, Dad had to come pick her up because all they had was his bicycle. She goes, no, it was my bicycle. He didn't even have a bicycle. She said, he put me on the handlebars and away we went. So that's how they literally, can you imagine having so little stuff that you literally, look at them trying to close this thing down, that you literally move on a bicycle. So, well, okay, that's the only story y'all give me today. That and the one other part of my mom's story, and I'll give you some of my other ones later, is she had a great friend. It was so cute. They both had hard times in life and marriage and family and everything. And I remember her friend saying, you know what? Her friend said, Janine, it's like we're down in a well. And I don't know how we're going to get out of this well. That's where the well came from. She goes, but if we put our backs together and walk our legs up this well, we're going to get out.